Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here on Freaky Friday. Holy smokes. The Chinese just seem to be going leaps and bounds ahead of us. They've now taken the lead with quantum computing and quantum communications, quantum encryption, and now they're really going deep into medicine. According to the Telegraph, world's first human head transplant has been successfully carried out. Now, one thing I would like to mention before I get into this, you can go on YouTube and look at some old Russian experiments from the 1950s where they severed the head of a dog and then kept it alive on a machine and then reattached it to the body, and then the dog made a full recovery. This was in the 1950s. So they've known or have had the knowledge to do this to other animals for quite some time. Have they tried it on humans? I really can't tell. Joseph Mengele, of course, tried many experiments. There's no telling what the heck he tried to do. But even, Black Ops and things like that, have they tried to do human head experiments? I don't know. I do know, though, now that in China, there was an 18-hour operation that showed that it was possible to successfully reconnect the spine, the nerves, and blood vessels, and they carried this out on a corpse. So they didn't really do it with any live human beings. They did it just to make sure that they can, kind of like a proof of concept. So at a press conference in Vienna on Friday morning, Italian professor Sergio Canavero, director of the Turin Advanced Neuromodulation Group, announced that a team from Harbin Medical University had realized the first human head transplant and said the operation on a live human will take place imminently. And basically what they're trying to do now, they want to do a full head swap on two brain dead live humans. So organ donors, if you will. So if you know they're brain dead, see, here's the problem. How do you know they're brain dead? Because now we're coming to find out that they're not really brain dead, not to go too far off subject. But there's been a lot of breakthroughs in science now to where they're figuring out how to reactivate areas of the brain that we've determined as dead, like being in a persistent vegetative state. There's been a lot of debate on whether we should remove people from the machine or not. And now they found ways through electrostimulation and other avenues to be able to stimulate the brain and reactivate areas that were once thought dead. So that's kind of tough. But there are people out there who would love to take advantage of this, who probably had every intent on this happening. One of them being Ted Williams, one of the great baseball players who died, I think, shortly after, right around 2000 or so. He had his head frozen. I don't know if it was for, to have his head transplanted. I mean, he's going to have the head of an 80-year-old or whatever, however old he was when he passed away. So I really don't know what the heck that was all about. Who knows if, like, David Rockefeller's head's frozen somewhere? It probably is. Now, think about it. What if then they're given, like, a body of an 18-year-old? Now, we know that the well-to-do, if you will, have found great benefit in getting injections or transfusions of adolescent blood. The younger it is, the more beneficial it is, the more restorative it is, anti-aging it is, if you will. So if you put a 80-year-old head on an 18-year-old body, would that head then regenerate? That's a question I think that is a very valid one. And it would certainly make more sense that if these people were going to do that and freeze their heads, that maybe it would be a possibility, because it would be really weird to have like an 85-year-old head on an 18-year-old body. Just saying. Probably take a lot of plastic surgery. Yuck. Now, Professor Canavero said the first human transplant on human cadavers has been done. And he says, The final step, of course, before a formal head transplant is the doing it on 2 brain-dead brain donors. And then after that, they're going to try it on live humans. Now, over in China, regulations are a lot more relaxed when it comes to medical research. So they don't get as much pushback over here. I'm interested to see what people think about this, especially with regard to this kind of testing. Do you agree, and do you think that it is ethical or right to test this on 2 consenting people, or maybe 1 consenting person? Who knows? Maybe there's somebody that's brain dead and somebody that's dying and their head's salvageable and they want to do a head transplant. And the families agree. I mean, do you find any problem with that? Feel free to comment below. And I'm interested to see what you have to say. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. #WakeTheFlock Up. Happy Freaky Friday, everybody. Have a great day.